it's really big for me to be able to talk with you guys because I've been through a lot. I know a lot of people been through a lot on the autism spectrum. I've been in special education classes my whole life since kindergarten. I tried, to do a regular class, when you first start into school, but the teachers at the time didn't really know how to work with somebody like me. So I really had to just literally teach myself throughout the years of school, and then going into middle school, same thing. It wasn't the same. I've seen the same people. I've been in I only had 5 people in the classroom, and it'd be the same people every single day. I was so bullied. The fact that what I had and how the school structured us to be, kind of like they separated us, and these classes that you can tell that it's different from the regular classes. So kids used to make fun of me. And I used to try before it became big, a more serious issue is where I used to try to hide away from those classes. So and it's so sad, but I used to try to, when the bell ring and everybody's walking together and everybody going to their class, and you can see the kids going in classrooms and kid is visual. So my thing was, I don't go into that classroom without someone seeing you go into there, because they're gonna, off the bat know who I am and know what I have and just automatically judge me and automatically treat me like I was stupid, as I am. And it was really hard too. That made me even do that more, is because in the past, when I was younger, the teachers that I had actually told us that we wasn't smart. I will never forget this. And this is the reason why that made me strive today, is because I remember this teacher said, "You guys not smart enough to go to college." I tried to find ways to teach myself, because I'm gonna be honest, I didn't get any taught. No teacher didn't really teach me anything. I'm gonna be real. I didn't know who Abraham Lincoln was. I didn't know, anything. When I transferred into college, I literally was teaching myself at the time. I didn't know how to read. I didn't know how to spell. I didn't even know anything that you're supposed to know when you get into, college. So that was more so like a big reflection off of me trying to stay steady and strong, because I wasn't knowledgeable in the way that they wanted to see everybody else as, but I was knowledgeable in my own way. I started track and field high school and freshman year. It's pretty funny. I didn't have no really knowledge about how it worked or anything. I knew my brothers did it and my family did, but I just, at the time, it gave me, when I went into transferring into high school, I noticed that the sport itself, like track and field, when I seen it as a way that it allowed me to be able to venture off and to do everything, because my mind is everywhere. So I have a lot of energy. So I tried out for the team, and it was so funny. I tried out for the team, and I was doing an open 400, and they didn't really tell me I have to stay in my lane, but it's lanes on the track. And I was like, well, okay, because I'm just thinking I just want to run, I just want to run. And when the gun went off, I'm just running, but I didn't know that you had to stay in the lane. So I'm just running off of all these lanes, and everybody stay in your lane, Juanita. And I'm just like, oh, I didn't even know. I'm just lost. I'm just going off of my flow. And when I passed the finish line and winning, everybody was like, Juanita, you have to stay in your lane. I didn't even know that. They're like, I know, it's okay, Juanita, you did a great job though, but we're gonna have to work on staying in the lane. So I was like, you're right. So that was the first objective of me having a strategy, something to focus on to get better in. It's so crazy, but I love how the fact that I can visually copy something else. I don't need to practice multiple times to get it. I can just watch it and do it. So I started noticing that I had that ability to do that. And I started to do that throughout time. And I start getting really good at the events that I started to do. Like triple jump was the main thing for me. And I excelled in that and won CIF in that and went to state and just really made it bigger than what I thought it was going to be. I never thought I would. I wasn't the best in high school, but I mean, I did win and, you know, beat records and get some records. But to me, in my head, it wasn't enough. So when I got into the heptathlon towards my 11th grade year, after achieving a lot of things like the 300 hurdles, the high jump, like I said, I did everything. And then I was introduced from my club coach to the heptathlon. And the heptathlon is 7 events in 2 days. And that's what I currently do now. But when I got into that opened the doors to allow me to be able to keep going with the energy that I had. I had so much energy. I could not settle with one event. After I'm done with doing the hurdles, I sit down and be like, this is boring. I want to do something else. It was a lot of people than what I expected that I'm used to seeing. So when I start noticing that type of level, I had to learn how to find a different way for me to focus. Like not just focus, but I tend to, I get anxiety quick and my vision and my head is like so much going on that it's like people voices get closer to mine. So I have to find a way that I can be able to focus because I can focus really well. It's just that if it's so much on the outside will come into my inside. So I had to have a strategy with putting headphones in my ear to be able to block the outside out so I can be able to maintain focus. I actually, this is funny, like, well, I separate myself. Like, so if I have a group as our team, if I have a team, I don't I don't really put myself with the team. Not because I'm not, you know, I don't like them or anything. I do love them. I love the team, but I addressed it like, hey, I want you guys to understand if I come on the track and I sit over here, I want you guys to understand it's not because I don't want to sit with you. It's just because I have to stay focused. Like I have to, I don't know, I get this tendency, this tingling feeling when it's, you know, even just a little bit of people around because they're going to be talking. So my heart rate goes up. So I have to separate myself. Mm-hmm. And not only just separate myself, but that's just in general for the whole warm up, just to try to be awake as much as possible. And if I have to go warm up off the track and go around, you know, the community just so I can get away, then that's what I'm going to have to do. Because it's, to me, anxiety is really big for me. I have really bad anxiety. And definitely when I do hard workouts, I do think about stuff before the day comes. So if my coach tell me we're having a hard workout on Friday, and I'm just like, no, I start thinking about it like, and I'm getting nervous, like, no. So I come back for that day to do the workout. And when I get on the line, he starts saying like, this is what you have to do. Cause this is not just like a fun sport when you're in high school. This is like a professional life is a job. So I'm so used to having fun and just doing whatever. And this is not having, you know, you can't just do whatever you want. So you got to hit the times. And by hitting the times, that's pressure. That's more building up. So I'm just like breathing and then it start coming. I have a full episode and I'm breathing really hard. Like I can't have no air in my lungs. My heart is rumbling. Like you can see it. And I just can't do it. But the factor is that I can't punk out because I'm having this anxiety. I got to learn from this. I got to work with this because if I'm going to go through this, what will I do if this happens at the Olympics? You know what I mean? What will I do if I get anxiety, you know, at the Olympic day? Will I just be like, oh, I can't do this and walk out? Or will I be the bigger person and try to work with what I got? And that's the thing in life. A lot of people have to work with what they got and don't hinder themselves just because of what they're going through. What they're going through is a test, I see in my head. It's a test to test your ability of how strong you are. And if not saying that if you don't work with what you got at that day, doesn't mean that you're not strong. It's just allowing you to visualize what caused that situation to flare up. And how can you do a different way so that won't happen too intensely to a point that's uncomfortable? Because where I was at, it was so uncomfortable that my athlete Barb, she was telling me like, Juanita, it's okay. Like hearing voices, that's another thing that allowed me to calm down without headphones. If I hear voices, like, and it's funny, like when I'm not around people, I don't want to hear, like, not that I don't want to hear nobody, but that triggers it. But it makes me feel comfortable when I'm hearing voices from far distance. That's helping me. So when she says, it's okay, Juanita, breathe, you got this, like, you got this, it's giving me, it's notifying me in my head that everything is going to be okay, no matter what happens. If I pass out, I pass out, but at least I try. You know what I'm saying? And that was going on for like, I'll say 10 to 15 minutes, that anxiety attack was going on. And then I had to take a breath. I had to step back and I'm like, you know what? I really have to just do this because this is what I want. This is what I put myself into. And how would I learn if I don't know how to work with what I have? So then I went off and I started running, and my coach and my my teammates got up and started talking to me like, keep it going, slow down the pace, like because I'm not a technical person. My head is technical, but I'm not technical because too much technical stuff is overwhelming. So it's just the factor is if I hear voices, I always tell my coach, like, Coach, can you talk to me when I'm running? Can you talk to me? Because when I'm running, I'm just running. Like, I'm just like a dog when you let a leash off the thing and the dog just running and it doesn't know where it's going. That's me. I mean, I always say that in life, you always need the other hand. So for me to be able to control myself, I need the other hand to assist me. I can't always do it by myself, but I can though. It's the way that you can always do it by yourself, but it's the sense of, it can be a bird that's just talking and it can make you feel better. It can be anything, like just sitting on the couch can make you feel better. And that's why it's really important to where does it start? Like where does that effect take place? You got to really map back and go backwards to what caused that situation. And I'm not gonna lie, at first he never had the knowledge of working with someone like me. So this is all new to all my coach staff at up at Westmont because we using their facility. So right now, being there for 2 years, going into this third year, he's very vivid now. He knows that I'm not regular. And it takes a long time for people to realize, like, okay, she's not regular. And not in a bad way. It's just like, for the people that is regular, have to understand that we are not like you. So he actually, when I come out, he writes what I'm gonna do in advance, so I can see it. I can visually see what I'm gonna do, so I can already prep my mind when I'm warming up, just sitting down, massaging my leg, just, doing the basics as I'm visually looking at the paper of everything I'm doing throughout the whole day. And even if I've seen it and I'm reading it for myself, he still comes back and read it off to me and tell me what I'm doing, because I can read something one moment, it can just go off, it can go off the other ear. It can just go away. Because I do have slight short-term memory loss. So I do tend to some things just gone in a moment. So he does that too. And then what he does is he's visual. He always watches me. He sees my mood changes. He sees it a lot when I'm sad, happy, mad. It can just be a wish-wash. So he always asks me, are you okay? Are you feeling good today? How do you feel today? Like, what are you trying to work with? Is everything on this list okay with you? I love it. I do. And it makes me feel more comfortable and more appreciative every time I get out there. Because I know I'm going to look forward to being able to learn something every day. His name is Boogie. He actually is incredible. I had him when he was a baby, and he's huge. He's like a Maine Coon mixed tabby. Yeah. So he has that big comfort heart in him that allows me to calm down. I taught him to be more with me instead of being more out on his own. He's by my side everywhere I go. He's like my travel cat. So he knows my triggers. It's amazing. Like, I'm so thankful for him, but it's too crazy. Like, normally they happen at night a lot, mainly at night a lot. So when I'm just sitting down on the bed and he automatically will just he would be asleep and he will wake up, jump down from his cat scratcher and come lay on my chest, because that's where it starts at. So what I hope in the future, and I'm happy you asked that. So track is one thing for me. My goal is to get to the Olympic trials as Olympics as well. And that's what I'm targeting and doing now. So that's the bucket list off my checklist. But prior to that, I'm actually, like I said, working with people on autism like me and doing programs and working, for the company PathPoint, to assist other people living and to allow them to live the life they're trying to live. So that's the one biggest thing that I wanted to do. But the main big thing is I'm writing a book right now that I'm almost done with. And that's crazy too, to say I'm writing a book, because I couldn't read, I couldn't spell. I don't know how I'm writing a book. Teachers are so quick to show us their way, but when it comes to, people on the autism spectrum, you have to see our way first before you put in your way. It works hand in hand. We gotta work in a partnership, so that's the difference. If I'm gonna give out, help for those teachers in the past, I would say, take time to see what that student loved to do into learning. They might not learn, they might not like to read, but they might like to read in this, like holding a teddy bear, and that will make them start reading though. That used to be me. Like, I could not read, I could not spell, only if I had my teddy bears with me. I said in my book that this teacher in kindergarten, this was the only one teacher that took her time to literally like focus on like, why is this student not trying to learn or not trying to do the things that I'm trying to help her with? And then she realized one day with my teddy bear I had with me all the time named Skylar, I took this teddy bear everywhere. It was like my protector. And she realized like, that teddy bear is like, she holding tight on that teddy bear. And she came up to me and asked me like, Juanita, how would you feel if you want to bring all your other friends in the classroom? And I'm like, yeah, like I'm excited, because at the time I was in a regular classroom that first time, before I switched. So I was in a full class of kids, and me having this teddy bear allowed me to escape from everything that's going around me. But I knew when I had my teddy bear, it allowed me to focus in on the things that I'm trying to do. So she said, she thought like this teddy bear is gonna allow her to even open more doors, open more books, open more learning eyes and visually to pay attention to what I'm trying to teach her. So she literally wiped off her whole bookshelf. You know how teachers have their whole bookshelf of everything? She hopped out her whole bookshelf and told me I could bring in all my teddy bears to put right next to me where I sit down at. And when I did, I was so happy. I brought my backpack full of teddy bears and I was just stacking them to sit with me to learn. Because I felt like if all my friends was with me that I felt comfortable with, then I'm ready to learn too, because they're ready. You know what I mean? So that was one of the main objectives, that it opened my eyes. And that's the only one teacher when I first got into school, that was the only one regular teacher that literally went out of her way to allow me to just be open. I never met anybody that had Asperger's my whole entire life until I met them. So when I met them and when I seen them in person, it was just like, I just felt like I was at home. Like, I felt like I was at home. I felt understood. It was just a feeling that we can connect and go off of what happened, what we try to do and what we're trying to do in life as an adult now, a young adult, that we're trying to do, and the things that we had in the past that hindered us. It's awesome to be able to be around people like me in that category, because it teaches you a lot about yourself. So I just want to say I really appreciate that, because you guys are really doing a lot of things that's very, very big for people like us, even if it's just allowing other people to at least witness what we do, or at least witness what we go through.